What's up, guys? I'm Don P from Don P Sounds, and today we're continuing our series, Getting More from Your Loops. Today I'm going to use a 2-track full mix, and I'm going to treat it just like a sample that I took from a record or I took from, online or something of that nature, and I'm going to build on top of that sample. This is a really unique process that you can use to get something that sounds like a sample, but it's completely royalty free and cleared. A lot of people say, what am I going to do with the mixes that's in these construction kits or loop packs? I'm going to show you in this video. So let's go. Okay, the product that we're working with today is called No Tears. It's by Tempo Audio Group. It's R&B construction kits. So let's go over here. And as you can see, I've already pulled in a full mix of one of the kits that I like. And I'm going to play it for you so that you can get an idea of what it's like before we go and we edit and tweak it. So here we go. Really nice. So I drug that in and I'm going to show you what I did. And remember, I'm using Studio One, but you can do this on FL Studio, Pro Tools. You can do it on Logic. You can do it on Ableton. The concept is the same. You might have different plugins for the effects and things of that nature, but conceptually, we're doing the same thing. As you can see, if you look at my track, I've added an auto filter and I've kind of tweaked the filter a little bit. So here is what we have, that same 2-track full mix with the filter. So you see, I've already heavily tweaked that 2-track, that full 2-track mix. So essentially now I've taken out most of the drums with that filter and I've made it kind of this lush, big moving piece that can be the centerpiece of what we're trying to do here, making this beat. Let's go and find a drum groove just like we did on part 1, and we'll drop that in, and then after that we'll add some guitar and move on from there. 125 is around the same tempo, so the groove might work here. Let's just try it. If it doesn't work, we can try something different. Here are the drums. Let me bring those in. Let's hear it. All right. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Reminds me of something that, Timbaland would do with Justin Timberlake or something. So let's stay with that because that vibe sounds good. Let's go back to our guitar and let's play the track and see if we can find some guitar licks that work. I like that. Let's record that. That's working. I'm gonna quantize that, get it really tight. All right, now what I think I'll do is go and see if we can add some different parts. I did pre-chop a piano, So I'm going to go over here and grab that. And what I did when I chopped the piano was simply brought it in and just set my markers to different sections. And I actually tuned this piano. I moved it up a couple of notches. And also what I did is added a reverb. So I want to take a look at that really quickly so I can show you. So what I did was added a big reverb. A really cool trick that I use when I have, because the piano was really short, it was made for something else. But I have a couple of tricks that I use when I have a short piano, but it works. One, you can either add like a quarter note delay on it, or two, you can do what I did here and put it in the tank or add a lot of reverb to it. And what that'll do is kind of extend the piano even if the files are cut off short. So these was very short files. I went in, added a big reverb, and now they'll work in the mix. Now you can adjust the mix of the reverb and do it however you want in terms of how in the tank, how wet you want that piano to be. On this particular project, I want it to be very, very big and spacious. So I'm gonna leave the mix at 52% here. All right, let's go ahead and add this piano. So I made it real simple to give the guitar room to breathe, and now I still have space to add other parts to this. All right, I pull some drum one shots. A lot of times in construction kits, you'll get drum hits or drum one shots. I find those very useful, and the way that I like to use them is I go through and I kind of listen to the drum hits and say, okay, I like that clap. Check out the kick, and I go through and I kind of pick and choose and customize my own kits. And what I like to do is if I find something that I really, really like, is I just save that kit as a preset so later on I can pull it up. And pretty much every instrument now you can save a kit as a preset. So this is not something that's just exclusive to Studio One, even though I love the feature inside of Studio One because it's very fast. So let's go and pull these drums. Nice. Let's turn it up just a little bit here. All right, let's play the track and then we're gonna see if we can add some drum parts in. All right, let's quantize that, get it nice and tight, and check it out. All right, that's nice. So now we got a nice groove, a nice vibe there. And one of the other things that you can do is you can go to these drums right here, the original drum loop that I added first, and you can play around with that drum loop. A lot of times I like to add a little grit to that drum loop, make it kind of a backbeat feel. You can add a little reverb, a little delay, whatever you want to do. Let's mess around with that real quick. I have this plugin that I really like called Red Light District, and I'm going to use that on it. And I'll just drag the default and kind of tweak it on those drums. We're going to take the mix down just in case here. That's really nice. So this is without it. And then this is with it. It kind of tucks it and adds some grit and a feel to it. So I'm going to leave that the way it is right now. I'm pretty happy with the way that the drums are sounding. So next, let's go over here and see if we can add a couple of more parts. And we're going to use our technique that we used on part 1, which is going through our kits and our loops and looking for loops that could work in the same tempo area, even though we have time stretching, and in the same keys or derivative key. Remember what I said, do yourself a favor, start learning scales in your keys. I learned them in 5th grade band, and it's been paying dividends ever since. So let's go over here to No Tears and let's see what we have. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in, we have a guitar, we have the piano, we have the drums. So we can balance it out, maybe use a synth or something like that. So let's see if we can find a synth. I know that Big Drip actually had a lot of synths, so I'm gonna jump back to that one real quick. Let me hear it first. Okay, that's more trap, but I think it can work. Now, what I know is it's not in the right key because I can just hear that. So most DAWs, if you right click on the piece of audio, you can transpose or change the key. So what I'm going to do here is quickly listen to the track. It's a little bit below it. So what we'll do is let's try going up a couple of units on the transpose. And let's put it back in. Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. So that works. So just messing around with the transpose, it worked out there, but sometimes you have to play around with it and use your ears. And it's great to understand scales, but you also have to use your ears. So what I'm going to do is take that and I'll drag it to the second half. So we start getting into, arranging and everything right here. So let's hear how it goes into it. That's lovely. But what we're going to do is bring it down in the mix, and we're going to go over here and we're going to pan that off, get that out of the way of the main melody. So there you go. It's there, but it's not overwhelming. It's like seasoning. So, okay, let's try one more sound, and I think this will wrap up this beat, and I'll start working on it, getting the mix right, and start separating it into verses and choruses. Let's try, we have a Rhodes. Let's see where we are with this Rhodes. Just play it so I can find the key here. Okay. Now, this is A minor, and the synth pluck that I brought in was also A minor. So I know that it has to be transposed up too. So that's another little trick that you can use. Once you figure out one, You can go and search through and find something else in A minor and transpose that, because we know that it's +2 for this particular kit, which is in D. Let's go ahead and drag that in. And I'm going to just put it where the synth pluck is, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I hear that that second chord doesn't work, but the first one works. So let me show you a little trick here. I like doing this as a build. So I'm just going to cut out that first chord. Let me fade it a little bit so that we won't get a digital pop. And then I'll duplicate that chord. And I'll bring it right before, 2 bars before it starts into the second half of the loop. And what I will do is reverse 1. And it gives it kind of like this crescendo building effect. So let's hear it. Yeah, I like it. Much cleaner. Just fade that down just a little bit, and then I'll make it an even more dramatic build here. I'm going to take that rose real quick, and we're going to push it off to the right so we can get it out of the way. Pull it down a bit, and let's play and see what we got. So there you go. That's what I mean about getting more from your loops. You need to squeeze. You paid good money for them, so you want to squeeze everything that you can squeeze out of those loops. So that's going to be it for today. If you haven't already done this, please like and subscribe this video. Share it with your friends, your beat making partners, your colleagues. And until the next time, guys, keep making great music. I'm Don P. I'll see you again. Peace.